Hey guys, I guess my letter that I posted on my website regarding my opposition to House Bill 113, which is the parental rights bill, has caught some flack and some attention. I really don't know why. I'm just a guy that just reports to you guys what I see and what I feel, and hopefully you guys are starting to get a sense of who I am and what my intentions are. They certainly are not to be able to undermine my friends that are in the liberty movement. But the question now is, am I willing to be able to stand on principle, or am I willing to waver and compromise? And I believe my son actually pulled up a video by Gandhi, I think, and it basically talked about giving up something fundamental was a complete surrender. And so I don't quote Gandhi often, but I tend to agree with that statement. Because of the fact that I've got so much garbage here, or so much interaction, text messages, bills, and all that, I'm going to try to deal with these one at a time. I received a letter from one of the attorneys, one of the writers of the bill, evidently, and I wanted to go over some of the things, and then I'll go through my correspondence with one of our legislators that sponsored the bill, and the rest of it, in addition with some comments made from the homeschool association type of a deal. This one's going to deal with a response back. Because of the fact that it would take me a year to type all this stuff, I just wanted to bring up some thoughts, and if I have time, I'll go ahead and write up my thoughts on the situation. Basically, he said that initially he was suspicious about the intentions of the bill and all of that, and basically said that after looking at the bill, it went from a merely good bill to one that is truly exceptional. I still disagree. He also says that it acknowledges that parental rights are among unalienable rights, which is what the bill suggests. It also points out that they're among the rights retained under the Ninth Amendment of the Constitution, and acknowledges that these rights and protections are being recognized by the state in this effort, not being created or given by it. That's not a bad statement, except for the fact that the issue that we're dealing with right here is the fact that Congress doesn't even understand the Ninth Amendment, the 10th Amendment, or the Constitution. So basically what the attorney also said was that in 2000, the Supreme Court rendered a decision on the subject of parental rights in a Troxel case. The court upheld the mother's right to direct care, but failed to reiterate the strict scrutiny test. Ooh, that's really a good thing, isn't it? I mean, all of this legalese. Basically, that has been traditionally used in such cases. As a result, parental rights were seriously wounded. I want to stop there for a minute and to be able to communicate with you that the courts can't injure rights, or they should not injure rights. It's the ignorance of the people that injure rights and allow the government to be able to do things they shouldn't do. Now, when you start reading history and the Founding Fathers, many of you guys have read a lot more than I do. I can't even pull off the cases off the top of my head, but I'm reminded that our founders, many of our founders, said that you cannot have, not everything is justiciable, which means you can't just bring everything to court. Not everything is legislatable either. I can't think of any topics off of my head that actually that ring a bell, but I actually believe that. I mean, are you gonna be able to force somebody to be moral? Well, no. All you can do is force them to suffer the consequences for committing a crime that might be immoral. So basically, what I get from this attorney is that we have allowed the Supreme Court to rise in authority to the point where they're the equivalent to the Russian Politburo, where we have nine huge monsters looking down on us, giving rights that are inherently ours, and we submit to them like we're these poor subservient slaves of a totalitarian state, rather than the inherent power in a constitutional republic, where the states and the citizens have these rights and powers that began, well, before government, or before the creation of the federal government, number one, and before government, as far as it relates to people, even existed. So basically, now all of a sudden he says that our parental rights have been downgraded. Well, the government can feel that they've been downgraded by the judicial branch, and the judicial branch can feel like they have the authority to do it. The simple fact of the matter is it shows that we have judicial tyranny, amongst us when we believe that the judicial branch can write law and force the states to be able to submit to that law. In all actuality, the Supreme Court doesn't have any enforcement mechanism, and I'm not really quite sure how I'm going to get these people to understand this. You know, I think it was Federalist 16 or 17, and I think again in 31, where it was basically stated quite clearly, and quickly I might add, that interposition is actually used. When the state actually believes that the federal government has usurped its authority, the states simply just ignore it. And then they say that the rights could change at any time. Well, I beg to differ, they can't. If the government continues to go on the road that it does, it's in the interest of the state to be able to not create a legislative of protection, because the legislative protection can be usurped by the same government that or the same judicial branch that they're adhering to in their subservience. So, I mean, we can create laws all day long that protect parental rights. The problem is that we've got a state that's rather than standing boldly, they're trying to write legislation that can simply be ruled unconstitutional by the Supreme Court when we know that they don't have that authority. They can leave an opinion, but the states are left on their own to be able to figure out what they believe is correct. Does that make sense? Anyway, they say that we can fold our arms and clamor as it is illegal for our rights to be so curtailed, but is this really the wisest course? Well, in speaking to the gentleman, he basically suggested that I needed to compromise. He said the bill wasn't perfect, and he said that we needed to incrementally get our rights back. Well, you know, I haven't been active just since yesterday. I've been active for about 7 years, not as long as many of you. But what I've seen is that we're more likely to incrementally lose anything we have than incrementally gain anything we have. And with the continual ignorance perpetuated in public schools growing up, people that really have worse of a clue than most people in this current generation, I can only see that things are going to get worse. Basically, they said that also the attorney, this is also interesting, the attorney also referred to our form of government as a democratic republic. Mr. Attorney, with all due respect, sir, we're not a democratic republic. We are a constitutional republic. And that he said the great thing about that is that we can make up shortcomings of our government and our courts. Well, I don't know what you mean by make up shortcomings, but it all really comes back to the ability for the people in this free country that they call themselves free citizens to be able to understand that it is our duty to be able to preserve our freedom by holding government accountable for its usurpation. If the electorate has become so idiotic or ignorant that we continue to vote these people in here, then that is a consequence that we suffer from. There is no amount of legislation that is going to fix that. The only thing that's going to fix it is for the states, if they understood the authority, to be able to act on that authority, and the people to be able to act on the authority that they know that they possess, in an environment where we hope that the government will understand that. Today we're in an environment where the government actually doesn't understand that, and the attorney has told me, you know, Tom, it's going to end badly for you. And I thought, wow, it's going to end badly for me because I stand on principle and I'm not willing to waver. And I went on the whole Christian right-left thing and the hot or cold thing and no in between, and that didn't seem to resonate very well. But at that point in time, that's my reply to the attorney. And so in my next video, I will do a response from one of the sponsors of the bill. Thanks, guys. Love you. Bye.